Welcome back to Wishwell Farms. It's probably one of the latest live streams I've done. I wasn't able to release a video tonight, so I wanted to come on here live to give you a little update on what's going on around the farm and talk about something that happened yesterday that could have been bad. I'll tell you that story later. Something to do with my forklift. So I'm out here in my sweet corn field. I'm gonna wait just a moment here while everybody's getting their notifications. Man, is it a beautiful day. The sun is out in full force. Just look at that. It's like 7:40 p.m. Eastern. Hello. And dead calm. I was able to get some spraying done on my sweet corn ground while my greenhouses were rolled up. I mean, that is a very rare occasion because most of my fields are west of my greenhouses. I have to wait till I close them up at night before I can spray, which would be about right now or 8 o'clock, or do it first thing in the morning before I roll up the sides. And even when the sides are rolled down and closed up, you know, there's exhaust fans and dehumidification happening. Hey, how's it going, HP group? You know, if I'm spraying a herbicide or something on my sweet corn, I got to be careful that it doesn't get sucked into my greenhouses. All right, I want to show you something out here in the sweet corn patch. I dug up some sweet corn. Here it is. I dug up a little 1.5 foot spot right here. I wanted to show you what it looks like. So we got a nice tap root on our corn, about 1 inch long and about a 1/2 inch sprout that's pushing upwards. There's a couple more. So that is the status of our early bolt sweet corn. I'll stick this back in the ground later. So pretty happy with that. Even though the soil temperature was really cold when I planted, I wasn't worried at all. That bolt sweet corn is amazing. I have some kickoff over here. I didn't check it, but I'm sure it's looking about the same. So just wanted to start out here to show you what the sweet corn looked like. Let's head up to the greenhouses. I'm going to give you an update on every greenhouse. Since I wasn't able to release a video tonight, I figured we would do it live. So you're going to come along with me for this little Ranger ride up to the greenhouses. So I hope everybody's doing well tonight. I'm doing great. It was a busy day. These last 2 days have been so busy. Just part of farming. Let me get off this Ranger. Hello from Michigan. Hey, Jason. All right, I want to take you guys down to the grape tomato greenhouse first. Let you see what's going on in there. So I noticed these last few days, now that things are kind of really kicking in and getting busy, that as I'm aging, the days, the long hours are a little tougher for me. So, you know, back in my 20s and 30s, I could work a 16-hour day every day, no problem, when I was building this business. But now that I'm 51, I would say 11 or 12-hour day feels like a 15 or 16-hour day. It's about all I can handle. And I don't want to work over 12 hours a day. If I can't make a good living on this little 60-acre vegetable farm working 12 hours a day, I need to find a new career. All right, into the grape tomato greenhouse. Now, the video that's getting released tomorrow or Friday that was supposed to come out tonight would have showed you all this, but you're gonna get to see it live. So we got some nice clusters of grape tomatoes. Look at that, beautiful. Some of them are almost full size. I mean, they are absolutely loaded down through here. Emma and I will be out here Friday running another string trellis because they're starting to get a little tall and lanky and hanging out in the row, and we'll stuff all these suckers that are hanging out in the aisleway up into the strings, get them nice and cleaned up and looking good. But yeah, just look through there. I mean, thousands and thousands of pints of grape tomatoes in here. I keep track of how many pints we pick. I just don't remember off the top of my head what it is over the last couple years. All right, so over here, are our last 3 rows that are usually a planting number 2 of grape tomatoes that would be going in right now. But we've been having some issues over the last few years with our grape tomatoes. And it has to do with the greenhouse. I figured it out. When I look at my phone, my eyes are over here to the left. It's because I got my phone turned around a different direction. It's just weird for me. You guys probably don't notice it. Anyway, we're having a lot of them splitting on us in July. And because this greenhouse sits lower than all the other ones, I'm getting water that continually trickles down in here, even when it's not supposed to be running. When all the other greenhouses are running, there's still water that gets down in here and on some of the rows. So I don't know if some of the drippers that are pressure compensated are going bad, but I can look at it right here. See how there's a wet spot around this bag? It's continually leaking or dripping in here throughout the day. So I'll have some bags that aren't getting really wet or, probably getting what they're supposed to be getting, and others that are getting too much. So long story short, the tomatoes were splitting on us really bad last year. Like, not before we picked. I'm talking about when we picked them. We grabbed them off the plant, put them into our picking tote, and pop, they would split. Or it would happen when we got them back up in the barn and packed them. There's a lot of different issues that could be going on. It could be a water issue, a fertilizer issue, a timing issue when they're getting water, the heat, plants that maybe weren't as healthy as they should have been, and the water's getting pumped into the fruit. There's a whole host of reasons. But anyway, people don't like picking them. My employees hate it. I had a Russian lady that worked for me about 5 or 6 years ago. That was her favorite job. She would pick out here all day. But I don't have anyone like that. No one really enjoys it, especially the teenagers. So we're just doing 1 crop of 3 rows. I'm sure we're going to get 3, 4, 5,000 pints out of there or something like that. These are going to be determinate field tomatoes, Red Deuce. I've grown Red Deuce before, but I haven't for the last 10 years because I'm always trialing new tomatoes. But I see everybody sticking with Red Deuce. I know I have a friend out in Missouri, Farmer Dre. Some of you probably know his channel, Broyan's Farm. I don't know if Veggie Boy still grows them, but we're going to try Red Deuce in here. They're supposed to be good for high tunnels, even though this is a greenhouse. But we're going to be planting those tomorrow. All right, we spent way too much time in here. I want to take you up to the other greenhouses. I'm going to try to read some of your guys' chats. I should have a different program for Cocoa Course Labs. Oh, I know. 3 times a day. Yeah, I got them on a 1-hour timer. These other ones get water every 25 minutes. They have to be. I mean, you wouldn't believe the amount of water they're drinking right now. And the Coconut Course Labs, I've got them on a 1-hour timer. And believe it or not, it's not enough. I'm getting 0 leach. For 4 days straight, I have not got a drop of leach out of those bags. At least the ones that I have propped up. So yeah, I'm still trying to figure out what's going on down there. Field meat intended for outdoors. So I call determinate field tomatoes because they're staking tomatoes. They can go indoors or outdoors, it doesn't matter. But Red Deuce has been trialed and grown for so many years, it has been proven to do well indoors and outdoors. Hopefully that explains it. All right, let me turn this noisy fan jet off. Somewhere here. There it is. All right, so this is our 4th planting. Well, actually, that's 3rd. This would be our 4th, I believe. So these have only been in here for a week. And those have been in there for a couple weeks. Really happy with how everything looks in here. I actually brought the bees out here yesterday because there was a lot of flowers opened up on these 2 rows over here. I wanted to make sure they got pollinated. Man, I shouldn't have turned the phone the direction I did. I wonder if I can take it out and turn it around in the middle of this chat or this live stream. We're going to try it. Orientation is locked. Rotate device back. Didn't work. I must have to choose a direction when I start. Oh well, it is what it is. All right, I'm going to take you up to one of the other greenhouses. So we're going backwards. We're going from our very last planting to our first planting, which we'll hit last. All right, this is the one we call our long house because it's 148 feet long. It's got 1,000 plants in it. And we're gonna come back to that one. I wanna take you into greenhouse number 1 first. Our tall house. It has 615 plants. Tomatoes are getting some size on them. We should be harvesting in about 3 weeks. Just about big enough for making fried green tomatoes. The fruit set is perfect. There's 3, we leave 3 on every single cluster. So yeah, really happy with the way these look. You can see all the tomatoes down through here. So originally I was gonna start, I told Emma this yesterday, I was planning to start a fire before the live stream, have all my supplies out there by my fire, which is out by my grape tomato greenhouse where we just were. And my pan, my spatula, cornmeal, flour, butter, and I was gonna make fried green tomatoes live. I was gonna harvest a tomato live, cook it up live, and eat it live with brown sugar, goat cheese, and horseradish sauce. My favorite way to eat fried green tomatoes. Don't really have anything else to say about greenhouse number 1. Just really happy with the way they look. Beautiful tomatoes. Who's on here? Backcountry Exposure. Hey, Devin, how's it going, buddy? Man, I haven't talked to you in forever. Farmer Dre, I just mentioned you a little bit ago. What's your opinion of Red Deuce? Is that your favorite tomato, or are you trialing something new? By the way, I forgot to show you something down in the grape tomato greenhouse. I ran out of cocoa core bags, and I put out about a dozen mum buckets. So they're a lot smaller than your buckets, but I put mum potty mix in there. It's probably not the right blend. I'd like to have like some peat in there, you know, some kind of blend, maybe a peat cocoa blend. But anyway, I'm really curious to see how the Red Deuce do in those buckets with dirt. When am I going back kayaking? Man, oh jeez, don't get me going on that. I thought about going out this weekend, but I have a race in Pennsylvania, trail marathon in the Pennsylvania mountains. It's gonna be raining, I think. If it was gonna be like it is tomorrow, we're gonna hit 80 degrees tomorrow, Fahrenheit. If it was gonna be like that over the weekend, I would probably go kayaking and not wanna run, but the temperature is gonna be really cool this weekend, so it'll be good conditions for running. Farmer Dre, it's all the red tomatoes I grow, Red Deuce. Man, that's very interesting because I'm really looking forward to seeing how they do because, you know, like I mentioned earlier, I've grown those things several years, over a decade ago, maybe 15 years ago, whenever they first came out. There was also a popular high tunnel tomato called BHN 589 that came out about the same time as Red Deuce. They were just a little on the small side. I didn't see anything special about Red Deuce, so we're gonna see what happens with them this year. There's so many amazing new tomatoes that come out with more disease resistance, bigger, more flavorful, all the traits that we want in a tomato to sell at farmers markets. Every year, there's like a new half dozen new ones that come out, and you can't trial them all, but I always try 1 or 2 new ones. And you know, when that continually happens, I let go of the ones that didn't wow me, and Red Deuce never did, but I'm giving it a try. Maybe I didn't know what I was doing back then when I grew Red Deuce. We'll see. All right, up into greenhouse number 2. 1,000 plants in here, and they are looking amazing. They all have 1, 2, 3, 4, so they're only 1 cluster behind, I would say. But that's what we want. I want these tomatoes to be ready for harvest early to mid-June. Don't really know what else to say about these. The video that's coming out tomorrow or Friday, whenever I decide to release it, I might just wait till Friday. It's 8 tips for growing tomatoes, something like that. I haven't come out with the title or the thumbnail yet. So that's why I didn't release a video tonight. That was supposed to be the one to come out tonight, but I just didn't quite get it edited because of something that happened yesterday with the forklift, and I'll tell you that story here in a little bit. Plus, I've just been so busy. Those of you that farm or know anything about farming, it's, you know, this time of year, it's just nonstop, basically sun up to sundown. So happy, real happy with these tomatoes. This is actually the same plants that you saw down in that other greenhouse where there was 2 rows that I talked about the bees pollinating. But just because these were planted a week earlier, they already got fruit on them, and they already got a second cluster out. These stretched a little bit. They don't normally stretch this much. It's because they were planted, I know they're getting fed all the same thing. They didn't need as much nitrogen and potassium as these do. So it caused them to stretch a little bit, and they're starting to fall. They need clipped up tomorrow. Yeah, I do. I use ChatGPT every day. It's awesome, isn't it? And I use vidIQ. vidIQ, I've been using that a lot longer. I just started using ChatGPT. The better thing about vidIQ is it rates everything. I guess ChatGPT would if you asked for a rating. It's almost like having a professional helper help you. It's pretty cool. This is our seeded house, our starter house, transplant house, whatever you want to call it. Bell peppers, eggplant, seedless watermelon, which is probably the best germination rate I've ever gotten in a long time. There's still a few here and there, some bad ones that didn't come up. But overall, I am really happy with the way the seedless watermelon look. These were really slow. I thought it was really bad germination, but I see some late ones still trying to pop up. So some of them got pushed in there a little too deep. But that's the yellow buttercup. Red beets over there. Basil pots that will be sold at the first few farmers markets to go along with our tomatoes. We just seeded cucumbers and pickles today. A second planting of basil. This is dill. Oh, I see the dill made it up today. Probably, I don't know if you can see that through the camera, but the dill just popped up. This is some of my daughter's stuff, some parsley, cilantro, and oregano. These are the tomatoes going into cocoa bags tomorrow. This is red deuce right here. And we're going to do 2 rows of red deuce, 1 row of our regular indeterminate greenhouse tomatoes, just to see how they do. And I'm going to trellis them. We're using the Florida weave, just like I do the red deuce. And when they get 7 feet tall and start to outgrow our PVC pipe extensions, I'm just going to top them, because it'll be about that time of the year anyway, because field tomatoes will be right behind them. Seeded watermelons, pollinators, and just some random habanero, jalapeno, and yellow wax. Leftover tomatoes, cantaloupe, our first of 3 plantings of cantaloupe. All right, did I go in all the greenhouses? I think I did. Okay, let me go show you what happened to the forklift. I've had this camera turned around so much, I don't know if I'm missing. How are the temps in Ohio? Burning through the propane at night. Yeah, that's a great thing to talk about. So I actually talked about it in the video that's coming out Monday. It was what I was filming today. So I just filled up all my tanks today. It was another $1,700 worth of propane. I prepay my propane in December. I can lock in a better price, and I bought $9,000 worth of propane at $1.59, a little higher than I usually pay. I was hoping to be down closer to $1.39, which is what my dad got with his group of 20 friends, but and for his grain operation. But yeah, I probably got $1,500 left, and we're going to be out of prepay on our propane. So hoping the nights will start warming up, because that's when we're burning it, of course. All right, before I tell you the forklift story, let me see if I'm missing anything good here. Red Deuce, good for you in Michigan. Celebrity Plus, yeah, I've grown that before. I used to sell that as a bedding plant to customers. Timpson, Ohio, New Zealand, awesome. Hey, I'm caught up. Not a lot of people in the chat today. I love the kayaking videos. Yeah, don't worry. More of them are coming soon. Hello from the Cayman Islands. Awesome. I haven't been to Cayman Brock. I've been to Grand Cayman. Love Grand Cayman Island. Weeks ahead of everyone else. Well, yeah, on tomatoes I am. I mean, that's why I grow these hydroponic tomatoes and heat them with propane and have your greenhouses, because I beat everybody. I've done 14 farmers markets at one time. Now we're down to our 8, I would say our best 8, and no one will have tomatoes at any of the Ohio farmers markets I attend until about mid-July. Then we'll start seeing some high tunnel tomatoes trickle in. Okay. I don't know if I should check the chat and answer questions or tell you this is the forklift story. So the kayaking videos are coming again soon, I promise. You know, I got to farm first. That's the priority right now. But on my other channel, my Jason Wish channel, the kayaking videos are what gives me all the traction on that channel. You know, they'll get 10 to 20,000 views quite often. When are you going to pick? Farmer Dre, I didn't see that one. We should start picking here in about 3 weeks. We'll have a pretty good supply of tomatoes ready for sale on Memorial Weekend, May 24th. As long as everything else goes according to plan from here on out. That's the way it usually goes. Now, I used to harvest a lot earlier. We used to start picking tomatoes at the 3rd week of May. Like right now, we would start seeing some turn colors. But I started them earlier. I used to plant them at the very last few days of December or first few days of January. Do bottom water those seedlings? No, I don't bottom water anything. I mean, in the Dutch Beto buckets, they're getting watered at the root level with a little dripper stake. So, but the seedlings all get overhead water. Hope it's a good story. I'm out here spraying. Oh gosh, I'm sorry, Dre. You're out there sitting in your tractor watching my live stream, and you should be working. Well, maybe you're back to spraying since I delayed so long. Okay, so here's my forklift. You can see I got this big hose here. I can't get that darn hose back on. Let me explain what happened here. I gotta walk up here to show you what happened. So my wife was digging out a shrub that's been well established in her flower bed for quite some time. My son was digging around a trench around it, and we wrapped a chain around it, and he couldn't get it out. So it was right there. My wife's already planted a new shrub. So you can see how far this distance is my driveway. I can't drive my forklift in this grass or I'll sink and get stuck. So I put these boards on here, drove my forklift up onto the boards, and I raised my mast. Is it mast? Yeah, mast. I was thinking mass. Raised my mast, I don't know, about 5 or 6 feet high, just so the chain wouldn't hit this fence right here and destroy her little landscaping fence. Get you out of the sun here. So we wrapped the chain around that shrub, and I had it attached to my mast, and I proceeded to raise it all the way up. I only have a 2-stage mast, not a 3, so it only goes about 15 feet high maybe. We got it out, but right when the shrub got pulled out, I heard this, and the mast dropped. I mean, it didn't fall like gravity fast, but I mean, it went fast. And this whole time, the hydraulic fluid is spraying all over me and the forklift, just splattering everywhere. And I jumped off the forklift out here to try to get away from it as it was all leaking out. But you can see some of the residue of the hydraulic fluid. And then I couldn't move because I was peeling out in the wet fluid because the mast was dragging on the ground. So let's go back down to the forklift here and I'll show you how I'm trying to fix this problem. I was pretty upset because it was already a 12-hour day, and it was the last thing I wanted to deal with, was fixing a stinking forklift. But you know what? I am very, very thankful that it happened right now and not on a Saturday morning when I'm loading those 5 box trucks and 2 trailers for a Saturday market where we want to bring in $15,000 to $20,000. So if that would have broke down on a Saturday morning, I'd have been screwed. I don't know what I would have done. We would have got to all of our markets late. I would have had all the workers come in early, hand load everything, I guess. I don't know. So we got the hose off last night, and you can see tried to catch the oil, but some of it got away. I can't get this darn hose screwed on. That's why I got it jacked up. I was down there trying to get it attached way down in there, and then it goes around a pulley and gets attached up here. Just a big pain in the butt. But for safety reason and to be able to move it, I put 2 come-alongs on, attached it to the top of the mast, and had to jack them up evenly to get it up, and then secured it with a logging chain just to be safe. But it's still not fun climbing underneath that thing. And tomorrow I'm going to have to get it up a little higher because I can't get under there to get that hose on. I need a helper here to help me. But it's out of commission right now. Half hour of work tomorrow with a buddy, I'll be able to get her going. Plastic mulch and drip tape is about ready to go right there. That's enough for about 8 acres of raised beds. My starter fertilizer for sweet corn, green beans, and my transplanter water. I mix a gallon of that in 150 gallons of my transplant water. So if it was going to stay like this for the next 5-6 days, I would be disking and laying my plastic out there. just out there near my sweet corn and out here behind my fuel tanks, right where the sun is. So yeah, I'm really chomping at the bit to get that done. But they're calling for cold, cloudy, rainy weather Friday, I think. So gonna have to hold off a few days. Looks like nice weather's coming again eventually next week. Farmer Dre, what's your weather like out there in Missouri? I know you're a little bit further ahead of us. You're a little further south. You're probably more in line with southern Indiana, Illinois, I'm guessing. Maybe probably at least as far as southern Ohio. I know I got friends in southern Ohio. They have corn up already. So yeah, things are going along pretty good. I'm pretty happy with how things look around here and growing. Let's see, I'm looking at the chat here before I wrap this up. Yeah, it's gonna, hydraulic fluid will kill the grass. Someone asked Farmer Dre what he's spraying the apples with. That is something I have no clue about. I don't grow brambles, you know, any kind of raspberries or blueberries or currants or any tree fruit. Someone with 10 acres wanting to start a small operation like this. Oh my goodness. It's a great question. If you do want my opinion, I'm happy to help you out a little bit, but it's going to be best for you to email me. So anyone out here listening right now that has maybe a market garden or wanting to expand into a few more acres and start doing farmers markets or roadside stands or even a little satellite mobile trailer like we do, send me an email. Jason@wishwellfarms.com. So I can't always answer everybody. Try to make your questions kind of short. I mean, I love helping people, and I'll probably turn that into a partial career in the future, maybe doing some consulting work. But you know, I'm so busy right now doing my own thing, running my farm, I don't have a lot of time to sit down at the computer and answer lengthy questions, but I'll do my best to help you out. If you want to send me an email, Jason@wishwellfarms.com. All right, 27 minutes. I'm ready to go in and call it a day. Red Shepherd Outdoors, you finally made a live stream. You've been trying to make one for like the last 4, I think. Well, I know you've been busy out there spraying. And Dre, it's 82 today, 80 tomorrow. Yeah, you're not much ahead of us. The thing is, oh yeah, you got 9 inches of rain last week. Holy crap. You're starting to pick strawberries. Yep. So around here, strawberry season doesn't start until almost Memorial Weekend. So yeah, we're most people around here at least 3 or 4 weeks away. Yeah, you're quite a bit ahead of us. Wow. The Vidalia sweet onion harvest is happening now. Wow, that's incredible. I would love to come down there. I need to quit farming and just travel the country interviewing other farmers and visiting farms. How about that? And I'll put it all on YouTube for you folks. I would love to go down there. There's so many things I'd love to do this time of year, but I can't get away from the farm. That's why I do all my playing in the fall. And that's why I don't grow pumpkins anymore. I want to enjoy my life a little bit. All right, guys. My wife is trying to get some spraying done, and she's walking around with a backpack sprayer spraying the weeds in our driveway. It's terrible. So she's waiting for me to finish this up. She doesn't want to interrupt me. So I'm going to wrap this up right now. Guys, thank you for tuning in tonight for this live stream. Sorry I didn't have a video for you tonight, but I'm going to go inside right now, take a shower, and finish editing it. Editing the video, and I will have it out for you guys soon. Probably will wait till Friday, but we will see. Maybe I'll surprise you with one tomorrow. Alrighty, guys, have a great evening. Hope you have great weather where you are at, and hope you have a successful planting and growing season if you are a gardener or farmer. Alrighty, guys, I appreciate you tuning in. We'll see you on the next one. Good night.